Join me and follow the podcast Conspiracy Theories, where we explore what's really going on behind the official narrative. Like, what if the Loch Ness Monster isn't a monster at all, but an elephant? What do the richest 1% know that we don't? And why are they building all those bunkers? And really, what the heck is going on with the Denver airport? Join me every week to see just how high up this goes on the Spotify podcast Conspiracy Theories. Listen on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. I am Mark Storrs, and hanging out with me as always is
Rob Morphy,
Robert, and
Crap.
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 All right, cool. Shit. Cajun Chris?
Whatever it takes.
Oh, he's our
That's
hero.
my new motto.
Yeah.
He's our hero.
No doubt.
Cajun Chris of the upstairs bathroom.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I charged it with power.
You charged it?
With power, yeah. Well, if I'm Cajun, I figure I'm Gambit. So
oh, dude, sick. Yeah, Mona Me. And you got your cards?
yeah, do sick, Mona Me.
Bro.
You know. Mona Me.
What's
Come
the
on.
difference between, Cajun and Creole?
Oh, I
question.
have no idea, dude. I'm not even, I mean, is one, I don't know.
Dumbass Yankee, like we all are.
Yeah, I've no clue. I'm not
Yeah.
even sure.
I mean, I'm sure it's a different subculture in the same geography with equally indecipherable accents.
Yeah, no.
From my perspective.
No clue. All I know is Gambit. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. It's literally
That is a
all
weird
it's
bridge
all I
to
have.
that culture.
It's literally all I have is just Gambit, just the X-Men.
You don't have an array of Zydeco albums,
No,
sir?
no. I like Zydeco. I've heard it before. It sounds cool.
Sure.
It sounds super
I've
cool.
heard it before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about it. If someone was like, here's Gambit's Zydeco band, aka Zambit, I'd be like, hell yeah, dog.
Fair
Let's
enough.
charge this thing up and make it work.
I do got to say, What's His Nuts did a fine job as that character.
Channing Tatum?
Yes.
In the
Tater
remake?
tots.
Yeah.
I thought I just was not about it forever. But then, like, once you did it, I was like,
Oh, it was
okay,
great,
this isn't
dude.
that
It was a good
bad.
time.
No, in
He
fact,
doesn't quite have the look,
it's absurd,
but he did a good job.
but doing it in that way was the way to make it work.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they had more with him, but regardless. Jailbreak Area 51, Part 1.
Mhm.
Oh, we got a two-parter.
Oh yeah,
All right, excellent.
and I can pretty much call it a 2 right now. I know it's a ballsy statement.
Oh,
I
no.
know I've been burned before.
Is this possible 3?
Indeed, if I find even
boy.
more information, because what turned this from a 1-parter to a 2-parter was the finding of a whole other series of interviews that I was like, well, fucks, Bill. I've got a whole bunch more story to tell,
Okay.
which is a good thing because, the more information, the happier I am. But that having been said, unless another windfall happens, it's going to be a 2-parter.
The Silverbow incident.
The Silverbow incident.
Oh, all right, man. Well, without further
Sounds like an old Western.
It
like
does.
the Oxbow
Silverbow.
incident,
Yeah.
literally.
I like it. Awesome. Well, without further ado, let's get started with, of all the bizarre claims made about the arid patch of government-owned Nevada desert known as Area 51, among the strangest and most disturbing has got to be the alleged escape of a highly predatorial non-human prisoner and its horrifying encounter with an unexpected family who had the bad luck of running into this vile vermin while camping in the high desert.
Mhm.
A vile vermin.
A wild Vermont.
Oh,
Yep.
Wild Vermont?
Man.
Yep. I mean, they were an unsuspecting family, but you know what? They didn't expect it either.
Did
So
I-
I think we're just going
Did I
to
say
accept that.
Did I say unexpected?
An unexpected
Oh,
family.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But don't worry
Yeah.
about it
Yeah.
because it covers both. We're fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
An unexpecting family. Well, they weren't expecting it.
No, they weren't.
Yeah. Or and if the wife wasn't present, she wasn't pregnant, she wasn't expecting.
Fair enough.
So I'm not wrong.
I mean,
Except it's totally not the word that you wrote. It's unsuspecting.
yeah, that's fine.
It's okay. I like it.
I do too.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, we only read it 4 or 5 times before we got started, but that's
Sure.
fine. Yeah.
No, that's just called practice.
Yeah. You know what, man? Sometimes sometimes you don't.
Right.
Hey.
That's right. We're getting
Practice
graded
makes
on the
never.
curve. Oh, yes.
What happened?
Good practice makes never.
Yeah.
So true.
Mark Stores 2028. There you go. All right, man. Well, fucking part one, dude. Let's dig into this.
In the depths of the dry, desolate salt flats of Nevada's Great Basin Desert, nestled within the sprawling confines of the Nellis Air Force Test and Training Range, is the now notorious experimental aeronautics installation known as Area 51, of course. For over half a century, the base, its moniker likely coming from an Atomic Energy Commission numbering grid, has been the site of some of the United States' most extraordinary aerospace innovations and the source of an ever-increasing array of outlandish tales and astonishing legends. Shout out to our boys Scott and Forrest.
Oh, what up?
Who are, of course, the brilliant minds behind the clean, mean, mystery-solving machine that is the Astonishing Legends podcast. If you're not about it yet, be about it now.
Check them out, man. They're awesome.
Check them out.
What up?
But as there are precious few listeners out there who don't have at least a passing knowledge of both the reality and lore surrounding this storied spot, not to mention the even more fabled Groom Lake and S4 sectors, I won't waste anyone's time by rehashing the highlights. Suffice it to say that ever since a semi-silhouetted and for a brief time anonymous Bob Lazar and the soon-to-be Las Vegas UFO beat reporter George Knapp had their now legendary SUV-bound powwow broadcast live on KLAS TV May 15th, 1989, 5 p.m. newscast, the words Area 51 and aliens have been all but synonymous.
What up, G-Nap?
G-Nap.
I jumped a little too soon there, but as soon as I see G-Nap, I'm like, oh, big ups to G-Nap.
I mean,
that's our dude.
Is what sent him on his career trajectory.
Yeah.
That became like the highest rated local news thing, I mean, ever, I guess, up until that point. Hard to believe that Lazar came out in what was still technically the 80s. Because it felt like a very 90s phenomenon. Granted, 89's the ass end of it.
Right.
But, I mean, it's still a long time ago.
Yeah, man.
And so, before then, if you even knew about Area 51, which was going to be a stretch for most people, you didn't necessarily indelibly associate it with aliens. You associated it with top secret projects.
Right.
So that was where the big crux was.
Bob Lazar and G-Nat, man, putting it out there.
And as it turns out, that's with good reason, as it wasn't just Chinese and Soviet spy planes that were being reverse engineered on the site, but according to an array of whistleblowers, a range of impossibly advanced and ostensibly interstellar vehicles that quite literally hailed from out of this world. That being established, the case we'll be discussing today isn't about the technology that's allegedly under scrutiny at the facilities falling under the umbrella of Area 51, but the decidedly inhuman entities often discovered aboard these downed conveyances, the bulk of which, due to the nature of the catastrophic accidents that brought them crashing down to Earth, are found dead, but also the few who defied the odds and somehow managed to survive. Some of these paranatural pilots are clearly representatives of a highly intelligent, supranormal sentient species, while others seem to have been cut from a different cloth. Bestial and brutal, these bizarre and highly aggressive beings lack the inherent serenity of their scraggly, pear-headed counterparts, acting less like tranquil intergalactic emissaries and more like, well, savage beasts. It is one such survivor that we'll be dealing with today.
Oh, man. We got a biologic that apparently has a shitty attitude.
Real shitty attitude.
Nice. I like it.
Big time.
Yeah.
And we'll be exploring that today and in next week's episode.
Is this like the anti-Paul? Remember Paul the alien?
You know, I never actually saw the movie, which surprises me because I love Simon Pegg. And,
oh, yeah, totally. He's great.
Yeah.
His buddy that's in all the movies.
Nick Frost.
Nick Frost. Thank you. And so there's no reason why. I dig Aliens. I love the comedy duo. There are, the modern day Abbott and Costello or fill in the fucking blank, whatever you want. But I never saw it.
Dude, check Paul out.
But he seems like an affable alien.
He's a cool little dude.
Yeah.
This guy is not.
Okay.
This is the dink. The dink side of the equation.
It's just the official Jeff of aliens. Area 51.
Oh.
No, because he's more esoteric and annoying. Cocky, but ultimately endearing.
Right.
This guy's a fucking roughshod prick.
Okay.
Just a shitheel.
Cool. All right.
A
Excellent.
fuck bag.
All right. Good
so
deal.
a different thing.
All right. Good deal.
The incident in question predates Bob Lazar's late 80s cosmic confession to a time when Area 51 was barely a blip on the ufological radar. I'm talking about that splendiferous year that brought us the first U.S. release of Windows 1.0 and the professional debut of an amateur up-and-coming boxer named Mike Tyson. An era steeped in Cold War tensions fueled by Reaganite rhetoric, Rambo and Rocky IV, all set to the sounds of Wham, Madonna, Phil Collins, Duran Duran, and a seemingly eternal parade of hits like Shout, Careless Whisper, Like a Virgin, Take on Me, The Neutron Dance, Oh Sheila, Easy Lover, Raspberry fucking Beret, and the endless delights of El DeBarge's Rhythm of the Night.
Fucking El DeBarge.
But oh
To
no,
the beat of the Rhythm of the Night.
we're not done traipsing down this Trey Chic hairspray haze stretch of memory lane, because this was also the year that offered a tsunami of box office delights, the likes of Back to the Future, Beverly Hills Cop, The Goonies, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Porky's Revenge, Commando, Lady Hawk, Crush Groove, The Breakfast Club, White Knights, Weird Science, Mad Max, Beyond Thunderdome, Return of the Living Dead, The Last Dragon, Real Genius, and Fuck-Sucking Teen Wolf, just to name a few. Obviously, this was a pivotal moment in my life.
Yeah,
this was 12-year-old
No, yeah,
Bobby's
yeah.
like full-on pop culture awakening.
You took to this.
Oh, I fucking love
This is a defining,
85.
a defining moment.
I mean, honestly, I didn't even mention all the classic movies or all the classic songs. Has there ever been a year that offered more to pop culture?
Yeah, I mean,
I'd be hard-pressed to find it.
yeah, no, saying I know.
Granted, my biases being what they are.
As a 5-year-old during this time, I was having having a good time.
You're a little young.
Were you?
I was just chilling, just doing my thing. I didn't
Preschool dad?
I didn't run away to the
Kindergarten dad, maybe?
I didn't run away from home and go to the dumpster just yet.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
too early.
This is pre-dumpster.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is carefree dad, no stress, no nothing.
Dude, kindergarten dad.
Yeah, dude.
Dad.
Psoriasis free, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This is all pre-stress marks.
All your
on
tattoos were ballpoint?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a tattoo-less little a little boy with no tattoos.
Oh, baby Dad.
Be weird if I was tattooed when I was 5. Regardless.
Yeah. But in the midst of that glorious pop culture superstorm that was the Bonzer summer of 85, people don't use that word enough.
Bonzer.
I love that word.
I've never heard it.
What ought to have been a joyous family outing was transformed into nothing short of a living nightmare, one from which an unfortunate family would never awake. But before we begin this harrowing account, due diligence demands that we take a moment to talk about the government insider who first broke this incredible story, retired Master Sergeant Richard Dodie.
Fucking Richard Dodie.
Oh, yeah. You know. And if you don't know, well, you're about to find out.
This guy.
This motherfucker.
Son of a bitch.
There are few figures in modern ufology more controversial than Rick Dodie. Small and bespectacled, with a round face, a standard issue American male haircut, and nondescript wardrobe, Dodie seems to be cut from the same cloth as millions of other unassuming middle-aged men. But beneath his seemingly soft exterior is a commanding presence, and with it comes an astounding backstory that, for many, beggars belief. Dodie had an over 20-year career in the United States Air Force. It would be during the 70s and 80s, while serving at Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico, that Dodie worked his way up to the position of Special Agent for the AFOSI, the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. So far, so good. Up until now, the credentials are rock solid, provable. But it's what Dodie states were his specific duties while at the base, which proves to be a bit more challenging. According to the Office of Special Investigations website, which you can look at anytime, files declassified in 1975 indicate that between 1948 and the late 60s, the OSI had been officially tasked with documenting and investigating UFO sightings in the United States. Less officially, the group, according to insiders, was infamously associated with managing and concealing actual incidents involving extraterrestrial, quote-unquote, visitors, which is exactly what Dodie claims to have been doing during the bulk of his career, particularly while on special assignment to Area 51 between May of 1982 and December of 1985. According to Dodie's bio on eflux.com, his primary job was to, quote, recruit UFO researchers to be informants to the Air Force about goings-on in the UFO community and to spread military disinformation about UFOs among their peers. To accomplish this, Dodie supplied fake documents to UFO investigators purporting to tell the quote-unquote truth about government involvement with extraterrestrials, end quote. Some of this manufactured evidence was said to include the infamously leaked Majestic 12 papers. Though this claim may also be a glistening hunk of wholesale disinformation designed to delegitimize what is authentic information. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. It's very hard to know. That having been said, Dodie insists that UFOs are real, that the government is in possession of crashed spacecraft, and that he was read into a top-secret military program detailing the history and status of U.S. alien relations. Furthermore, he claims that since his retirement in the 1980s, he has been trying to make amends for the treachery he was party to as an agent for the OSI, and that he is now fully dedicated to the cause of UAP disclosure.
That's very convenient.
There are some, like free energy and CE5 advocate Dr. Stephen Greer, who seem to have complete faith in Dodie's turnabout. Others are, understandably, not so sure. It is before this backdrop that we begin our account. As already mentioned, during the summer of 1985, Dodie was on special assignment to Area 51. It would be during this stretch that he would be charged with investigating one of the most emotionally devastating cases that he'd ever come across in all his years at the OSI. According to an in-depth investigation that he and his OSI partner, a fellow agent referred to only as Harrison, conducted following the incident, the terrible events in question began when a husband and father of two, a man identified only as George, stumbled across a magazine article about an old, long-abandoned mining town in Nye County, Nevada, known as Silverbow. According to ghosttowns.com, and I'm so glad that somebody got that website early.
I know, man.
The boomtown was founded in 1904 after silver was discovered in the area. By 1905, the population had grown large enough to support an array of saloons, a post office, and even its own newspaper, the Silverbow Standard. By 1907, however, the silver was all but gone, and both the paper and the post office folded shop. And by the 1920s, the town had completely dried up. What held George in its thrall, however, were Silverbow's, mine shafts. Silverbros.
Silverbros.
I mean,
Silverbros.
what you know about the Silverbros you want to be in?
Dude, why don't we get a ghost town and name it Silverbros? And we'll be the Silverbros. I hear silver's big right now.
I mean, if you watch late night TV.
The world collapse, silver.
Yeah.
What's it, colloidal silver? We could turn blue and shit.
Okay.
Is silver the new gold?
Yeah, silver's the new gold.
The silver standard?
Dude, think about it. We could pod from there. We could live there. It could be a communion. We could sell shit out of there.
Oh my God.
Get merch. Dude, I know.
Dude, let's rename the studio Silverbro East.
No, we need a ranch.
Yeah, but this will have to do before we can fucking
there was
get a
that
ranch.
weird town like on Seneca Lake that they started building, then they gave up on. You ever been there?
Oh,
on
I think
the
I
wine
heard about
trail.
It. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
There's
There
like
is.
4 buildings that
Yeah.
just
The squatters' rights, dog.
just
Let's
give
do
up.
it.
All right.
Let's just
Show
take-
up, be
let's
like,
just
this
take
is
it.
for Silver Bros, dog.
Right.
This is what we're doing.
All right. We will table that for now
All right.
because I'm genuinely intrigued.
Okay, cool. Here we go.
And maybe we'll deal with it. Okay. So
Just
we're
saying, it's
This
city.
is how we get raided by the FBI.
no shit. So what held George in its thrall, however, were Silverbow's mine shafts, dilapidated buildings, and the history that they represented. So this is what's appealing to probably the Civil War plate collecting George.
I mean, you got mine shafts, dude. What's more interesting?
Sure.
Exactly.
I mean, not the safety of your kids, clearly.
They're fine. Just give them harnesses.
Yearning for adventure, George rounded up his clan, including his wife Virginia, his 13-year-old son Billy, and his 7-year-old daughter Denise, and announced that they'd all be going on a family camping trip. But not to any old campground or patch of woods. They'd be sleeping in and exploring a genuine ghost town. So it was on August 11th, 1985, with his kids ecstatic and his wife at least tolerant, the family of four packed their gear into their 1977 station wagon and began the near 150-mile trip north from their Las Vegas home through the Desert National Wildlife Refuge, heading even deeper into the desolate stretch of dirt and scrub brush that is the high desert. Knowing that they'd need supplies, George made a pit stop in Alamo, Nevada, not to be confused with the famed Texas town.
Oh, is that where Ozzy Osbourne pissed, right, on the Alamo?
Well, that was the Texas Alamo.
Yeah.
That was the,
the
standoff between Daniel Boone and I think it was Davy Crockett. I confused these fucking American icons.
Yeah.
And
Paul Bunyan,
Santa Ana.
right?
Yeah, Paul Bunyan
Paul
was there.
Bunyan was there?
Yeah. Babe the Blue Ox.
Who was the
Hightailed.
Who was the guy
Traitor to America.
Who was the Apple guy?
Johnny fucking Appleseed.
Yeah.
Who's the Apple guy?
Fuck
you.
Fuck
you.
The Jolly Green Giant. Mr.
Jake
Peanut.
Apples.
I know.
Jake Apples. Hey, look at Jake Apples over here. Fucking commie. Don't know an Appleseed. Come on. Eat a pear, you dirty rat.
Eat a fucking pear.
Make me mad.
That's what a communist would eat, a goddamn pear.
Pears are delicious.
I know.
Joey Pear.
I love
Joey Pear. Jackie Twin Apples and Joey Pear over there. They'll take care of it. Don't worry.
Oh, God. Fucking
Yeah, Santa Ana's going to get his.
Terry Grapefruits. Here we are.
Oh, Lord in heaven.
All right.
Okay.
Jesus.
That's why we can't have a frontier town.
Frank Corn. We're calling Frank Corn.
Call Frank Corn. He's coming.
Stat.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's funny.
Terrible.
Holy shit.
Indeed. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
So they made a pit stop in Alamo, Nevada, and filled the tank while Virginia ran into a local store to grab enough food and drink to last the weekend, plus camping staples like marshmallows, Hershey's, and graham crackers. All stocked up, the group packed into the wagon to finish the rest of their trip into the no man's land, of Nye County, Nevada. It's a trip that almost certainly put them onto State Route 375, a 98-mile stretch of highway in south-central Nevada that, as of 1996, would be christened the Extraterrestrial Highway.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to lead them into Rachel, Nevada, where the little alien is, so it's
nice.
Very storied in terms of ET lore, but not in 85. But whatever the route, after a series of zigs and zags down an array of unpaved roads, the family arrived in Silverbow at about 3 p.m. Marveling at the austerity of the site and the refreshing lack of crowds, they were the only ones for miles around. George was likely very happy with his decision to go off the beaten path, as he and his brood literally had the run of the place. While George and Virginia set up the tent and the campsite, Billy and Denise, with the kind of youthful autonomy that all but ended with Gen X, explored the nooks and crannies that were the crumbling vestiges of Silverbow. While exploring this Wild West wonderland, just a couple of 100 yards beyond where their parents were setting up camp, Billy and Denise came across a fence that seemed to bisect the town. The pair rushed to get their parents, and all four of them followed the fence to a large, unmanned gate, the signage on which clearly indicated that the area beyond was restricted. It's unknown if George knew that Silverbow bordered the Nellis Air Force Base and gunnery range, specifically the Tonopah Test and Electric Combat ranges, but whether or not he was aware of this fact beforehand, the signs on the gate made it abundantly clear that these premises were not to be breached and that those patrolling the site were authorized to use lethal force on any trespassers. As to whether these signs frightened or intrigued the family, we can only guess, but George and Virginia were not going to let their proximity to military property ruin their fun family outing, and it seems that they just told the kids to steer well clear of the test range. Undaunted, the family grilled dinner on the open flame, some burgers and dogs for the kids, and maybe some fancier cuts for the grown-ups. This was followed by the time-honored tradition of marshmallow roasting and s'mores building, all of which was set to the classic camping soundtrack of chatting adults, laughing children, and the crackle of a warm fire. As far as this family was concerned, moments like these were as good as it got, and they savored it, never once suspecting that this would be the last truly good time that any of them would have reveling in the splendor of nature. That's called foreshadowing, folks.
Yeah, wow. I was in there. I was living. I was having s'mores, sleeping on a can of test site. Now I'm like, I'm gonna die.
Sleeping on a test site.
Sleeping on a test site. I'm gonna die.
You could die.
Yeah, I want to die.
Daddy, I'm so happy I could die tonight.
so
Don't
happy.
sleep in the test site.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep next to the. I want to go sleep next to the nuclear missiles. I'm gonna be a little nuclear baby.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and then you're gonna, unfortunately,
Start glowing.
you're gonna meet Jesus a little too soon.
Oh boy.
Yeah, a little
Or you get powers.
cancer.
You never
It's
know.
never powers.
I mean, it was
man.
the mid-'80s. You could believe you'd get powers, but we knew better.
Yeah.
Love Canal taught us better.
Yeah.
Marvel Comics taught us one thing. Fucking 3 Mile Island taught us something else.
Yeah, unfortunately, we all can't become Daredevil.
No.
Yeah, everyone forgets about that.
Oh, I know. The little radiation.
Yeah, the radiation.
Oh,
thing.
it took a little something away? Gave
Yeah.
a little something back.
Guess what? Yeah, now
You
you
just got to put it in the eyes, though. Just splash it in the
gotta
eyes.
splash. Yeah. Just the eyes. Oh god.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
God.
At about 10 p.m., the family filed into the large tent and turned in for the night. The kids looking forward to another exciting day of outdoor cooking and exploration in the abandoned structures and wilds surrounding Silverbow. As happens after a long day of fun in the fresh air, it didn't take long for sleep to claim the sleeping bag snuggled clan. But the solitude and comforting quiet was not destined to last long. Soon after he'd fallen asleep, George, the ever-vigilant patriarch, shot up in his sleeping bag. He'd heard something outside their tent, but he wasn't sure exactly what. Hydraulics? Perhaps a metallic screech? George leaned forward, straining his ears. Whatever it was he'd heard, they were not the natural noises of the high desert. The next sound, however, was one that George immediately recognized, though it did nothing to put him to ease. It was the sound of human voices speaking in hushed tones just outside of his tent. Careful not to wake his slumbering brood, George quickly made his way out of the tent, only to be confronted by a surprising scene. A military truck and 2 armed soldiers had parked outside their tent.
Because we're sleeping on the test range.
Sleeping on the tent. But they aren't, though.
They
But
aren't.
they aren't. That's the key.
Right.
Hundreds of feet from the test range.
You're close.
Though he knew that they were camping less than 100 yards away from the clearly posted Air Force property, George could not specifically make these uniformed military men as Air Force representatives. AKA, he can't recognize the uniform, just knows that it's military.
Okay.
Confused but unintimidated, George approached the men, but before he could even begin to ask them what the hell was going on, they turned to the perplexed dad and told him that they had to immediately pack up and leave the site as a, quote, escaped convict was loose in the area.
Oh boy.
That's some classic urban legend bullshit right there.
Yeah, that is, man.
The old insane asylum breakout.
And then there was a hook.
The hook, where was it?
Oh god.
Grandma's anus.
Oh,
I mean the trunk.
yeah, really?
Well, it depends on if your grandma's there.
Whoa.
Hey,
leave grandma out of this.
I know. I mean, I know your grandma. What can I say?
Grandma's wild, all right?
Wow.
Grandma's wild.
Crime was wild.
Wasting no time, George crawled back into the tent and shook Virginia and the kids awake, telling them that they had to get up. They were leaving. Groggy and confused, his family protested this sudden shift in plans, but George urgently explained that a convict was at large and they had to go. Virginia asked him how he knew, and even after he told her about the military men outside the tent, she seemed skeptical about their reasoning. In a later interview, Virginia explained that seeing as they were on Bureau of Land Management and not Air Force property, she couldn't understand why they were being ousted. George, clearly the more pragmatic of the two, assured her that if someone had escaped a local Air Force stockade and was dangerous enough to have armed men warning campers away from the area, then they ought to listen. Understanding that they had no real choice, Virginia complied and began packing up the sleepy kids and their disheveled belongings. George got back out of the tent just in time to hear the truck's radio crackle to life. Both he and Virginia inside the tent heard an urgent voice ordering the men who'd warned them of the escapee to respond to a situation at Gate 4 ASAP. It seemed reasonable to assume that the convict, whoever he may have been, was cornered at the gatehouse and that the soldiers there needed backup. But whatever the case, George wasn't taking any chances with the lives of his family, and even as the dust trail kicked up by the military truck faded into the darkness, he was urging his family to pick up the pace. So he's not going to fuck around. They probably got the guy by the gate, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I don't know if you really question any of this. I mean, I get his wife being like, hey, the fuck? But, like, I don't know. When there's a bunch of dudes with guns and shit, and they're like, there's an escape.
Yeah,
just be like, you know what? It's not worth it. Yeah.
We've all seen enough horror films and action films.
Like, well, we're on the, area of the land, Bureau of Land Management. Like, I pay your salary.
Clearly, this is the province of the camper.
Yeah, you got to get out of there.
Surely
man.
no escaped convict would deign to hurt us here on BLM land.
My God.
I'm Virginia. These are my words.
Virginia.
Yeah.
I am Virginia. Yes.
Fear me.
Nah, I mean, I can get it, but yeah, you just got to the safety first, man. You got to get the fuck
safety fucking
out
first.
of there, dude.
Always the protocol when the
Yep.
kids are involved.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else. Go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, anywhere. Yeah.
It's
We'll
probably
make it up
more
to you.
dangerous there, but still.
There's one down the road, I'm sure.
Well, that's the other say in 97, maybe. I think there's a lot of old ones left, I think, still.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 85 Chuck E. Cheese. Vintage Chuck.
That was
Yeah.
it was pre-hepatitis cheese, dude.
Oh, barely.
Yeah.
Barely. All right. In less than 25 minutes, the tent had been dismantled and all of the family's coolers and belongings were stowed safely inside the station wagon. George rushed Virginia, Billy, and Denise into the packed vehicle and gave the campsite one last scan for forgotten items. Just as he turned back toward the wagon to close the hatchback, a strange, piercing sound echoed from somewhere out in the darkness around him. It sounded like a cross between a gurgling voice and a blood-curdling scream. Which could be any number of fucking animals, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of, just like cats in heat or a screaming bunny,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things in nature that wouldn't scare you in the light of day, but in the shadows of night are fucking...
No, everything. Fucking deer.
Yeah, oh, God.
Everything sounds awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Everything sounds awful.
And you just got the warning, so
Yeah,
you're already
this
on
is
edge.
all, dude. This is all bad signs, man. Just gotta get in the car, get the fuck back to fucking Hepatitisville, Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep.
Get some tacos, call it a day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
George had no way of knowing what had created such a horrible sound or from exactly where it came, but it sounded close. Too close. Quote, any belongings be damned, he thought. We'll get new ones. We're getting out of here.
All right, well, hold on. Get your shit.
Well,
I mean,
they
come on.
packed everything up.
Yeah, like, let's
All
come
right, so here's George. He is standing by the open hatchback. The tent and the coolers and everything are inside. He's giving the campsite one last scan.
Right.
Now, at this point, it's fair to say, take your time, find your shit. But then you hear the gurgle scream. So he's like, fuck this noise. I'm agreeing with George at this point.
All right,
You hear
know
the
what?
gurgle scream in the shadows, and you're like, all right,
Well, sure. He
good
got
enough.
probably like 99%. He's just looking for straight. I mean, it's not like they left shoes and they didn't know. You know what I mean?
Just
They
don't-
got the shit they needed.
Don't leave the Game Boy behind.
Mm.
Not even sure if Game Boy was out, but don't leave it behind.
Fair enough.
It was hard to get one back in the day.
It was.
Very hard.
But, I mean, harder to get back your life, bro.
Oh, but they're already dead.
Kids that's probably the first thing they packed.
They're already dead.
Right.
If anything, they probably just left sleeping bags.
Yeah, probably. And that sounded like an alarmed Wookiee. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
It's my fucking death voice, dude. Fucking, you're all dead. Ah, dead.
Okay. No, I'm
And
with
now
it.
that I hear it in my headphones, that sucks. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
I'm
It's
going to
fine.
apologize to
It's
everybody.
wonderful.
I'm going to apologize right now to everybody who heard that. I'm very sorry. This is Mark Stores. Mark Richard
Please stay on the
Stores.
Patreon.
Very sorry.
If you're watching
Please
this,
stay on the
Yeah, I know.
Patreon.
We're going to make him apologize, especially to
Yeah.
patrons.
Yes, I'm
we'll give you a
sorry.
deal.
I'm sorry.
We'll give you a deal for saying that.
Deal.
Oy, oy, oy.
Continuing.
Okay.
That's great.
So he's saying, fuck this noise. We're getting out of here. With that, he slammed the hatch and made a beeline for the door. Inside the vehicle, Virginia was trying to soothe her exhausted and disappointed youngsters, assuring them that they'd find someplace even better to camp, like the aforementioned Chuck E. Cheese. It was then that,
Wish.
out of the corner of her eye, she saw George through the driver's side window reach for the handle and open the door. The next moments were a blur. Just as George was leaning to climb into the driver's seat, he was suddenly attacked by something. Virginia couldn't be sure what she was looking at. It was big. It was bizarre, but it couldn't have been the convict that the military men had warned them about, because this thing, whatever it may have been, was definitely not human.
Oh, shit.
Virginia screamed. From what little she could make out through the open door, it looked as if her husband was being attacked by a big, bipedal, almost insect-like creature. And stranger still, it was wearing a fucking cape.
Dude.
Because, yeah.
Fucking Super Zorak.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
I mean, really, though. George valiantly struggled to push this thing away, but nothing was working. This creature was just too strong. George knew that he wouldn't be able to hold this multi-legged monstrosity at bay for long, and unwilling to jeopardize the lives of his wife and children, the ever-protective patriarch decided that their best bet for survival was for him to hold onto this thing and keep it at bay. With a grunt of effort, he shoved the volatile varmint away from the wagon, dropped the keys onto the seat, and shouted for his wife to drive. Drive now. The kid shrieking in the back seat, Virginia snagged the keys, slid into the driver's seat, slammed the door, and as much as it broke her heart to do so, cranked the engine and hit the gas. As she barreled down the dirt trail out of Silverbow, Virginia watched through the side mirror, George in a swirl of dust literally fighting for his life against this huge, cape-clad insectoid, until, within just seconds, they were both swallowed in darkness. Billy, on his knees, sobbing and staring through the small exposed section of back hatch window, suddenly began screaming that the monster was chasing them.
Son of a bitch.
Glancing back, Virginia could see the bloody mess of mantis-like monster hot on their trail. Without a word, she pressed even harder on the accelerator and with a white-knuckled grip on the wheel, made a quick series of sharp turns first east to Mill Road, then south to Cedar Pipeline Road in an effort to get her terrified children back to the relative safety of State Route 375. Before long, she could no longer see the thing behind her, and she made a straight shot through the suffocatingly barren high desert back to Alamo. When she arrived there, Virginia went straight to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office, but as it was late and this was a small town, the place was empty. She then stopped at a phone booth and dug through the book inside and called the sheriff's number, explaining that her husband had been attacked by some sort of creature in the desert and that they had to go back and find him. Within minutes, a Lincoln County deputy arrived to find Virginia sitting in her station wagon, doing her best to console her obviously traumatized children. The deputy escorted them back north to a junction of Nevada Highway 6 and 375 known as Warm Springs. Once there, they were met by local Nye County deputies who had jurisdiction over the Silverbow area. So she goes all the way down to Alamo. Now they're taking her back up there. Part of the way, anyway.
All right, fair. This episode is brought to you by Incogni. Nestled in the dark corners of the internet lurks the nefarious data broker. Now you might be asking yourself, what's a data broker? So data brokers collect information from various sources to build up a detailed picture of who you are, and then they sell your data to businesses and marketing agencies. This will lead to more spam calls, texts, and emails. Worse yet, data brokers can directly or indirectly expose sensitive information to bad actors, putting you at risk for identity theft. So how do we prevent these maleficent, malformed manufacturers of mayhem from procuring our precious data? Well, good listener, we use Incogni. Incogni is a personal data removal service that will automatically remove personal information related to you from public websites, such as people search engines and private databases. Incogni reaches out to data brokers on your behalf, requests your personal data removal, and handles any objections from their side, and the whole process is automated. So if you're tired of spam cluttering your inbox or relentless calls and messages that bring only unwanted offers and scams, then Incogni is for you. Visit incogni.com/hellerspace today to get 60% off an annual Incogni plan. The link is in the podcast description, but again, that's incogni.com/hellerspace to get 60% off an annual Incogni plan.
In a classic spate of bureaucratic bullshit, Virginia, who was frantic to get back to Silverbow in order to hopefully save her husband's life, was delayed for 5 fucking hours in Warm Springs before being instructed by the Lincoln County deputy to drive west on Route 6 to the Nye County Sheriff's Office in the city of Tonopah, where they were to wait until the office opened and someone let them in.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
One can only imagine the hell that Virginia was going through. After a brutal attack by an entity she could barely begin to wrap her head around, the young mother had been doing her best to get aid to the love of her life, who she prayed was not lying out there, cold and alone, bleeding out in some roadside ditch, all the while trying to keep her shit together long enough to comfort her shocked kids and mount a rescue effort. In the meantime, she's surrounded by a cavalcade of inefficient officers who were forcing her to drive all over the state, only to find that wherever she ended up, they were just as baffled as they had been in the town before. To say that Virginia was frustrated would be a criminal understatement. Finally, at about noon on August 12th, nearly 14 hours after they'd been forced to leave their campsite and all hell broke loose, Virginia was sitting in the Tonopah Sheriff's Office with her sleeping kids when a Nye County sergeant and the county chaplain walked into the room, faces solemn, hats in hand. It was news that she knew could not be good, and she was right. The chaplain explained that they'd found her husband's body some 6 miles inside the Tonopah test range. News that absolutely confounded Virginia, as she knew George had been attacked in Silverbow hundreds of feet outside the fence. The chaplain further explained that George had been killed, but they weren't sure by who or what, adding that the remains had been taken by the U.S. military for examination, because it's in the range, so it's their fucking jurisdiction.
Yeah, man. God damn, that is not the news you want to hear. I know we foreshadowed this, but
Sure.
I don't ever prepare myself for it.
I know. You were hoping.
Yeah.
I'm always, every week I hope.
All those hours,
Yeah.
those fucking hours, and maybe something could have been done. That was not done, clearly.
Well, yeah, you got dragged 6 fucking miles into a test range. She's driving all over hell and back.
Not what you want to see happening.
No. God damn it.
The chaplain explained that George's body would be returned to the family for a funeral and proper burial after the government's investigation was completed. Virginia and her children were crushed by the news, and it left Virginia almost certainly wondering if her husband's life might have been saved if only the authorities had been quicker to the punch. Whatever discussions and or recriminations were made, in the end there was nothing more that she could do, and still reeling from this sudden and tragic turn of events, Virginia and her kids climbed back into the station wagon and made the long, sad trip back home to Las Vegas.
What a fucking bummer, man.
You ain't lying.
You got the goddamn ghost town, you got the silver mines, the possibility of Chuck E. Cheese and tacos, and then you're just hanging out.
Happy.
Oh, my throat has died. And then all of a sudden,
no, times, especially when you're young, good times with your family, your parents, being laid back, everything upbeat, those are rare enough. Those are hard enough, even
but then this is how they
families.
lost their father?
But then all of a sudden, to turn on a dime like that.
God damn it.
Shit show. The following day, August 13th, there was a knock at Virginia's door. She opened to see 2 suit-clad men who claimed to be representatives of the Air Force Office of Special Investigation. Special Agent Richard Dodie and his partner, Special Agent Harrison.
These 2 fucks.
She let them in, and the agents explained to her that her husband had indeed been killed by the escaped convict that they'd been warned about. They then assured the grieving widow that said convict had been subsequently caught and killed by military police. The agents then expressed remorse for her loss, but claimed that they could not answer any further questions at that time, adding that George's body would be sent to a prearranged funeral home in Las Vegas on August 19th. So, I guess there's that.
Huh, that's okay.
According to a video about the incident recorded by Dodie and published on the Awaken Zone YouTube channel on March 6th, 2025, Dodie claimed that, quote, "I was there at the house with Virginia. Her kids weren't in the area where we were talking to her. She was despondent, crying, talking about how long her and George had been married, her family history, and what their plans were in the future. I was heartbroken, but we told her what we knew at the time. I was criticized after this incident was first told some years ago about why I lied to her, but I didn't lie to her. I wasn't at the scene at Silverbow. I hadn't investigated what had happened at this point. I knew something was involved with the special access programs, but I didn't know exactly what. So myself and the other agent, Agent Harrison, We told her what we knew, and we tried to answer all her questions, but she had a lot of questions I just couldn't answer." End quote. As she was promised, on August 19th, a U.S. Air Force mortuary vehicle brought George's body to a funeral home in Las Vegas. Virginia waited patiently, but once the delivery commenced, she asked the mortician if she could see her husband's body. He was reluctant, but the bereaved widow insisted, and that's when she was informed that the remains were not solid, but a badly mutilated array of barely identifiable hunks.
Oh, God damn it. It just keeps the hits.
Yep.
It keeps getting
You're
worse.
getting the mad feels for her.
God damn it, man.
And her kids. Oh
And you're
my
like,
God.
yeah, no, we're going to bring your husband's remains, pieces to
Yeah.
the mortuary. You're like,
fucking
bro.
props from Jaws.
Yeah. Oh, God.
The
I'm surprised they
mortician-
wouldn't just fucking cremate him, but okay.
Yeah, well, true.
Yeah.
The mortician assured Virginia that she did not want to remember her husband this way. This revelation threw the already despondent Virginia into a rage, and she demanded that they perform an autopsy on her husband's corpse. It was then that the mortician informed her that an autopsy had already been conducted at the Tonopah Field Hospital. Their justification being that the body had been found well within the confines of the test range. Virginia knew this couldn't be the case, but now was not the time. Deciding that she'd allow her kids and the rest of his family and friends have the dubious closure of a proper send-off before digging any deeper, Virginia tabled her many questions until George was buried on August 21st, 1985. Almost immediately following the services, Virginia contacted the Nye County Sheriff's Department requesting a copy of the report of her husband's murder. The Sheriff's Department advised her that they had not conducted an official investigation into the matter as it was out of their jurisdiction and referred Virginia to the FBI. In his video, Dodie claimed, quote, "Now you can just imagine the situation Virginia's in. She saw what happened to her husband. She witnessed, at least from the rearview mirror, something that attacked her husband, and this was outside the base perimeter. The next 6 months, Virginia tried in vain to obtain answers to her questions about her husband's death. The FBI would refer Virginia to the OSI. The OSI would not return her calls." End quote. Finally, on October 5th, 1985, the OSI called Virginia and invited her to Nellis Air Force Base. Virginia drove to the base and met agents, not Dodie and Harrison. These are unnamed agents, who once again informed her that her husband had not been killed by a wild creature, but an escaped convict. And what's more, it had not happened in Silverbow, but on the Tonopah test range. When she explained what she and her children had seen with their own eyes, these agents condescendingly explained that her information wasn't accurate.
Nah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
typical.
Typical shit, man.
I don't know why they invited her out for that.
Yeah, really. Like,
But actually I do know, because here's where it's going.
no.
With that, their meeting was over. They had no more information to give this young widow, but by way of a parting gift, one of the agents then gave Virginia the phone number of the base legal office, telling her that that's where she could make a claim against the Air Force if she so desired. She did, obviously.
Yeah, shit.
Over the next few years, there was a constant back and forth between an angry mom and the U.S. Air Force, with questions being asked and answers being denied. This tug of war continued until Virginia, at wit's end, was offered a lump sum of over $105,000 if she'd just wash her hands of the matter and sign a non-disclosure agreement. Maybe at this point, the fight was gone out of her. Or maybe this newly single parent realized that she was getting nowhere and it was time to start thinking about Billy and Denise's future. Whatever the case may be, Virginia signed the papers and finally put the matter to rest. She would pass away of natural causes in 2005. But just because she stopped badgering the Air Force in the 80s doesn't mean that her kids had given up their pursuit of the truth and their hunt to find out who or what had murdered their father on that chilly August eve. It would be a pursuit that would take Billy in particular down a winding route to a very hard truth. And even as the United States Air Force's legal offices were closing the door on Virginia's personal crusade for the truth, Special Agents Dodie and Harrison were just beginning to delve into the strange creature that had wreaked so much havoc in Silverbow and beyond. It would be an investigation that would take them into the dark depths of Area 51's incarcerated alien program and introduce them to a particularly nasty and highly fashionable subspecies known as the Quantaloids.
The Quantaloids. Oh, shit.
Quantaloid.
But that, buddies, is a story that we're going to pick up next fucking week.
God damn it all. Anyway, Jailbreak, Area 51, the Silverbow incident. God damn, you left us on a cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And it's going to be one of those, if it was done like a movie, it would be like one of those interesting like time jumping things where now we're going to get into the behind the scenes investigation.
Oh,
now we're going to get into what
nice,
Dodie and
nice.
Harrison are finding out about this shit and about the escape and what went down and all the other sundry shit. And then we're going to bring it back.
Okay.
To Virginia's kids and especially Billy and some crazy shit. So there's certainly one more part to this Odyssey at least. And
for sure.
Fascinating and heartbreaking and intense. And
I mean, I feel like Billy, like if he just gets a katana, everything will be okay.
Like, I mean, not everything can be fixed with a katana.
Yeah. Name one problem that can't. Taxes? Katana. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, you can cut the papers, but
long line at the grocery store, katana.
All right, that's fair.
There you go.
Wait, what does that mean?
I mean,
long line at the grocery store, katana.
That's a body count. That's a whole other.
No, if you
just
gotta show the
you're
katana.
Just intimidating.
You're just showing people
okay.
Like, chill. Go to that line over there, friend. It's all you, dog. If you're in Target and there's no goddamn cashiers and it ain't the cashier's
do they
fault,
have a katana line at Target?
They should. They will now. They goddamn.
Is that the enforcer of the like 5 or less items?
Oh,
just got the katana. I'm counting them
with the katana counting the 5 or less items.
Every item over 5 gets katana.
Just fucking hit,
and they have to pay for it, and it still gets katana.
Exactly,
wow.
And then you come home with the katana.
It's only fair.
I just came across the goddamn Silver Age Dr. Fate figure too, and I definitely had more than 5 items. He would probably have gotten katana, and I would have cried. Yeah. So man, this is a crazy goddamn story, dude. It's interesting though, and it always gets my hackles up a little bit here. Is Dodie, because we all know his bullshit.
Oh yeah.
So it's interesting to see where, and
it might be bullshit, and it might unfortunately not be bullshit
when you're dealing with Dodie. It's
we'll have to, and we'll be of course addressing that too in the next episode.
Yeah, totally. But regardless, man, these poor kids, dude. What a bummer. You're camping with your parents, and your dad just gets
Billy and Dee Dee.
Fucking what a bummer.
Poor
dude.
Virginia.
Yeah, the poor mom.
Probably didn't even want to go to that goddamn mining camp to begin with.
I know, and then dude just gets shredded by Zorak or whatever his name is from Space.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's Zorak as fuck.
Yeah,
like, becaped and everything. And I'm not. You know what? I felt so bad for this family. I'm not even going to use this to give my usual tirade against camping. Though you fucking know, everyone out there fucking knows.
I mean, but there's people. Plenty.
This is a different camping.
But
this is different camping.
But millions of people camp, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I think camping
you'd probably enjoy camping, honestly. I think you'd dig it.
No, you would not.
Fucking ridiculous.
Glamping, yes.
Well, yeah, no. Listen, we're not going to go with tents.
Do you think I've never fucking camped?
I'm sure you've camped. But if we all got a cabin in the fucking Adirondacks, bears and shit.
That's why we know we hate it, because we've done it and it sucks.
You're here.
I only camp in cabins and/or fancy RVs.
Cabins.
And if that RV does not
water,
have a TV in it, I will not be in that RV.
Places to poop
That's
inside.
Fair.
Places to poop inside is important. Yeah.
Beds.
Have I ever pooped outside while camping? No.
I mean, I did.
Did
when
it
I was
fishing
in Boy
once.
Scouts, but
Sure.
I was fishing once with our buddy Paul back then. He had to poop. Just like, fuck it.
Well, sometimes you got to poop.
It was weird. Fox ran right by me, scared the shit out of me.
Oh,
I thought I had a whole little cryptid thing.
Wow.
It wasn't. It was just a fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it toilet paper by the time you were done?
The fox? No, I was toilet paper, though. I was like, I've never been so scared in my life. Just everything hanging out, and you're like, oh my God, there's an animal in the brush. And it was not this son of a bitchin' mantis alien from the freaking Silverbow.
I think you mean a Quantaloid.
I'm sorry, a Quantaloid. Yeah.
Address it by its
We're
proper
going to be
name.
talking about captured alien creature. Oh, I love that shit, dude.
Yeah, I'm digging deep. Like I say, I found a whole other series of interviews with Dodie, and I'm like, well, shit, I didn't even realize there's this much more to the story. So instead of like fitting it all in on another half page, we have a whole other thing to explore.
Damn, son. All right, man. Part 1 come back next week for part 2, the Silverbow incident. Jailbreak, Area 51.
Enter the Quantaloid.
Yeah.
Which is literally what I've already named it.
Is
Yeah.
it? Yes.
It's part two.
Sick, dude.
Enter the Quantaloid.
Yes, dude. I love it.
Come on.
Oh, that's awesome. So thank you all so very much for joining us, Cryptonaut Podcast. Before we got out of here, we got to do some shout outs to the good folks.
Yes.
Support us. Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. Now, real quick, there apparently seems to be some sort of update on the Apple end where this fee might not be happening. There's news. So only a few of you have signed up through the Apple subscription service. So thank God that a lot of you have not, because it's a huge pain in the ass if you do. So hopefully that'll all be rectified and we won't have to live under this, the threat
tyranny
of holding our money for 75 days is bullshit. Sorry, Apple, but you fucked me.
That's fair.
Well,
you really did.
I mean, there's a reason why it went to court.
Yeah, thank God it went to court. I didn't even realize it went to court until I saw this big, everyone rejoicing. I'm like, oh my God, Patreon, amazing. Shout outs, Robert.
Fantastic.
Let's do those.
Beginning with, and I love this, simplicity at its essence. A.
You signed up and you put A.
You put A.
I don't know what to tell you, man. A. Thank you, A.
But thank you.
Yeah, no,
for your
thank you.
support.
We appreciate it.
And maybe that's exactly what you wanted.
Maybe that's what you wanted.
I want to pronounce it like Afonso A, but that's too much.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because that's not what they asked for.
No.
They asked for A, and that's what they get.
Yes.
You got A.
Trent Guzman.
Thank you, Trent Guzman. We appreciate it.
Yukami.
Yeah, Yukami, what up?
Oh, this one's a little bit of a challenge. Ferrymer Dasterin.
Yeah, Ferrymer. We love
Ferrymer Dasterin.
We appreciate it.
Oh. Benoit for Becky.
Ooh, sweet. I almost said Benoit, but it's Benoit.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's Benoit.
Depends how your family says it.
It's true. Okay.
It's true. If we got it wrong, we'll say it again.
We'll let you know.
Benoit for Becky.
Yes.
Gurkha Legend.
Hell yeah, Gurkha Legend. We appreciate it.
Jensen Frost.
What up, Jensen? Hell yeah.
These are all great character names.
I know this is
everyone so far.
Awesome novel so far.
Brooke Snow.
When Brooke showed up,
oh my God,
she's my favorite.
Fluttery.
God, I hope she falls in love with the boy from town.
Oh, you mean Dan Johnson?
Oh, Dan Johnson, my God, he's my favorite.
How could they not
when
fall
he moves
in love?
back from the big city?
Yeah, he comes back and he has a toy shop and it might be going under, but they got the gumption to make it happen.
Oh yeah,
they're going to be.
Oh
yeah,
he thought he was a
Yep.
loser coming back home. He didn't realize that's what life had in store for him the whole time.
And that's how they met.
You're a hometown hero.
I love
That's
it.
right.
Thank you, Dan.
But he's going to try to throw a monkey dick in the works?
No, not him.
Tom Bennett.
Oh, Tom Bennett.
Because he was there first and he deserves the love more, so he thinks.
Well, he's also a stand-up guy.
But here's the problem. He's not evil. He's just a little jealous. But he's going to find true love with, and this is the last name on the list, Gigi.
Oh, thank you. I think I know who Gigi is. Thank you, Gigi.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for all being characters in our Hallmark movie.
Man. You know, Hallmark season, dude, it's going to be, well, actually, it's not coming up, but it will be coming up next year because there's a little Hallmark movie with a certain Mr. Josh Allen and Haley Seinfeld.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
They find true love.
Do they now?
I hope it's in Buffalo.
They're a real couple, right?
Yeah, they are. At a stadium. Yeah, I hope it's in Buffalo at a stadium that they find true love, like they did in real life.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Wow. You're giddy.
Dude,
I think you're actually excited.
Okay.
I don't see any irony at all in what's going on in your face or your tone.
Man, all right.
Dude, I want them to meet in the parking lot and people are just crushing beers and jumping through tables and doing super fucking dumb shit.
It's got to be like he's an up and comer and she owns a local fucking bakery or something.
He's already the best quarterback in the entire galaxy.
Did
Obviously.
you read the thing, or are you just? Is this your fanfic?
It's my fan fiction.
Okay, yeah, no,
but he's too good. And he can't find
in the
love.
Galaxy League.
In the Galaxy, he's too good and can't find love.
He's probably going to be a football player that had an irreversible knee injury, and he doesn't know what he's going to do.
No.
And then he goes to the small town, and then she's running. I don't know, the dog walking / bakery / local librarian.
He loves his football so much that he has to find someone to share it with.
He's going to find love beyond football.
One. They'll find the love of the football.
I'm telling you.
Is she going to offer to be the football?
She's going to be the football.
No, you can't say
I know Hallmark movies pretty well.
Yeah, right.
They are definitely not shooting this in and around the locker rooms of fucking Buffalo.
No.
I mean, they should if they want to do legit winter scum.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
40 inches of snow,
end up
alcoholism.
Just a few miles out into some small, quaint ass town.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Because it won't be like the dirt, snow, and regret
It's probably going to be Toronto.
The Rust Belt.
It's always in Canada that they film.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
sure.
I think they have a whole area up in Canada where they film all that.
What if they shoot it in Seneca Falls? going for that rustic small town flavor.
Oh, then I could go and I could watch every day.
Every day.
True.
Yeah, every day.
You
I could
camp
watch.
out.
And just be like, hey, Josh, do you remember me, Mark? You
Remember me, your boy?
You waved at me once while you were signing autographs. I was too far away, and I'm too old to push you for autographs because it'd be weird.
It'd be real weird.
If I push children out of the way to get autographs.
Hey, are we best friends now?
Yeah. Want to listen? Give him a card. Want to listen to my podcast?
I was going to pay fans.
Look at this portrait I bought of you.
Look at you. Look shocked, concerned, and/or on cocaine in this picture. We don't know which one you are,
Dude, if you could get him to sign that, it would be like mission accomplished for everything. Oh my God,
dude, that might be the worst, best painting ever.
Oh yeah,
Jesus, thank you, Marshalls. It really is incredible. So there it is. Thank you all for continued support. Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. All the bonus audios and videos that you can get over there. TeePublic Shop, HellerSpace.com. Get that merch. All kinds of fun stuff happening. The summer's going to be here. Get your tank tops on.
Get them.
Get your short sleeve shirts. Put away your long sleeve shirts.
Your Jimmy Jams.
Put away Jimmy Jams.
Do we sell jams?
No, we don't. Not yet.
I know I got confused not that long ago when you were telling me our shorts are really popular, and I thought we were selling fucking lower wear, and you told me no, it's the fucking shorts on YouTube, moron.
But now I didn't. Okay, well, but now you got me inspired. Like I think we need to sell shorts.
I've always thought that.
Like we'd be kind of cool to sell shorts.
Jams.
Like booty shorts.
Oh yeah.
Where it says like juicy, but instead of saying juicy, it says Cryptonaut.
Oh boy.
Yeah. That's I would look great with my ass. I'd look phenomenal in them for sure.
You fill them up just perfect.
Oh, yeah. And of course, the social media is the Instas, the Twitters, the Facebooks, all kind of fun stuff happening over there. Be sure to like, follow, comment, DM, share the reels, the shorts, whatever you got to do. Do all that stuff, interact, and have fun. And yeah, man, thank you all for coming back every goddamn week and listening to us. Son of a bitch. I love it. Every week talking with listeners. Seriously, I get DMs constantly from just like people hitting us up like, yo, I've been listening to you for so long. It's so cool to talk to you. And it's awesome to talk with our listeners too. It's so
always
cool. People are out there, they enjoy it. And just, we can't thank you all enough for the
support. Which is another good reason if you're a patron to join the Discord, because that's definitely a place where constant interactions can happen.
Oh yeah, dude, jump on the Discord. It's super fun. And
it's free to $1 tier, whatever tier.
Yeah, $1, $5, or $10, man. You can get on there and you can do it. And yeah, you can hang out and just
we have movie nights. We do all sorts of cool shit.
Fucking super fun there, man.
Yeah,
so
it's a great community.
And we have new bonus videos over on YouTube. So that's youtube.com. Just look up the Cryptonaut Podcast. We're right there. We got
pop culture minutia.
Some pop culture stuff going on over there, which is super fun. And we actually had I saw in the comments, we had some people giving us like suggestions for things that we should do, which is pretty cool. So thank you for that. And,
maybe we'll use one tonight.
Yeah. We never know, man. I might have one, I might not. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. We will see. So thank you so very much, and we will be talking with you next week.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Enjoy your week.
If you can.
If you can. It is we come out on a Monday, which is cool. I don't know why the fuck we decided to do a Monday, but we just years ago did. But like Monday's the goddamn absolute worst for me until I get here. Then my day's okay again.
Right, but that helps other people too because they know it's on Monday too, and they're like, "Oh, pod comes out Monday."
I know.
A lot of people have told me that.
My Monday is shit until I get here.
I agree.
Literally.
No. Our personal Mondays, because we record on Mondays and release on Mondays.
Yes.
And thankfully people seem to take some joy out of at least having a little something to look forward to on Mondays.
True. Yeah.
So it's a win-win. But yeah, it definitely rocks the Mondays.
Yeah, for sure. Mondays ain't easy, but we're here to make it a little bit easier for you.
And
I get to hang out with my friends and talk about some fucking dope shit. So I'm fucking stoked.
That's the joy.
Yeah. Awesome. There it is. Peace.
Bye, friends.